Hello students, here I show you some pictures. This is a cultivator driven by a tractor. This is a hoe. Another one I show you. This is a plow, right? So these are agricultural implements or the tools used by farmers to cultivate the land. So a farmer can use a plow which may be wooden or iron made, a hoe or a tractor driven cultivator to plow the land. Here I show you the tool used traditionally for showing seeds. This funnel shaped structure what you see, with the help of that seeds were used to be shown traditionally. Now also some farmers use this traditional method of showing the seeds. And this is a seed drill. Nowadays the seed drill is used for showing with the help of tractors. In India, as in many other agriculture-based countries, farming ranges from small to very large farms. Different farmers thus have more or less land, money, and access to information and technologies. In short, it is the money or financial conditions that allow farmers to take up different farming practices and agricultural technologies. There is a correlation between higher inputs and yields. For example, for cultivating the land, the farmer can use a plow or a hoe or a cultivator. The plow or hoe which can be driven by cattle. But if the farmer does not have the ability to purchase the cattle, so he has to do it manually. On the other hand, if the farmer has the ability to purchase a tractor driven cultivator, so certainly a large area can be cultivated within a very short period of time, because this technology saves time and labor. On the other hand, here you see the seed drill, the traditional way of showing the seeds with the help of the funnel shaped structure, which is spreading the seeds in the soil, and the other one, the seed drill, which is also driven by the tractor. Now this tool shows the seeds uniformly at proper distance and at proper depths, so it ensures that seeds get covered with soil. So this also saves labor and time. Moreover, that is, it will not be there will be the losses can be checked. That means if it is at proper depth and it is covered by soil, so the birds will not pick it up. So this can be so this seed drill can be used to show the seeds. Thus, the farmer's purchasing capacity for inputs decide cropping system and production practices. Actually, there is a correlation between higher inputs and yields. So, if the advanced technologies can be adopted, so production will be more and the losses also can be checked. Therefore, production practices can be at different levels. They include no-cost production, low-cost production, and high-cost production practices. So, today we have started crop production management. First, we will discuss nutrient management. Just as we need food for development, growth, and well-being, plants also require nutrients for growth. Nutrients are supplied to plants by air, water, and soil. There are several nutrients which are essential for plants. Air supplies carbon and oxygen. Hydrogen comes from water. And soil supplies the other 13 nutrients to plants. Amongst these, some are required in large quantities and are therefore called macronutrients. So a term you get, macronutrients. Why these are called macronutrients? Because these are required in large quantities. The other nutrients are used by plants in small quantities and are therefore called micronutrients. So, micronutrients, another term you get. Macro means which is required more in amount, and micro, these are required less in amount. Now in this table, it shows the nutrients supplied by air, water and soil. See the sources. From air they get carbon and oxygen. Water is the source, they get hydrogen and oxygen. From soil they get macronutrients. What are the macronutrients which are required more in amount? Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Micronutrients which are required small in amount like iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, molybdenum and chlorine. So, macronutrients which are required more in amount and micronutrients which are required less in amount. Like we also some food nutrients we take more in amount, carbohydrates, fats, proteins we take more in amount, and vitamins and minerals we take less in amount, but all these should be there in our diet. Similar way, the plants also require all these nutrients for their overall development. Deficiency of these nutrients affects physiological processes in plants, including reproduction, growth and susceptibility to diseases. If we do not take the vitamins and minerals, these are required in small amount, and if we do not take that also, so we may suffer from various kinds of deficiency diseases. Similarly, plants also can suffer from this type of deficiency diseases. To increase the yield, the soil can be enriched by supplying these nutrients in the form of manure and fertilizers. That means what? If these nutrients are less in the soil, so plants will not be able to get this, and they may suffer from this kind of diseases, deficiency diseases, due to which that is production will be less. So we need to take care of that, right? So, and plants get this nutrients from the soil, so time to time we have to add manure and fertilizers from which they can get this nutrients. So next we are going to discuss about manure. Manure contains large quantities of organic matter and also supplies small quantities of nutrients to the soil. Manure is prepared by the decomposition of animal excreta and plant waste. Manure helps in enriching soil with nutrients and organic matter and increasing soil fertility. So manure contains large quantities of organic matter and it supplies small quantities of nutrients. Right now we read about the nutrients the plants require, right? So through manure they get this nutrients, and the bulk of organic matter in manure helps in improving the soil structure. This involves increasing the water holding capacity in sandy soils. In clay soils, the large quantities of organic matter help in drainage and in avoiding waterlogging. So manure supplies the nutrients, but so small in amount. But manure actually it improves the soil quality, right? So because of that we need to add manure. Like in sandy soils, it is increasing the water holding capacity, and in clay soil it is helping in drainage of water and prevents water logging. In using manure, we use biological waste material, which is advantageous in protecting our environment from excessive use of fertilizers. So it is an organic matter, and how do we make this? We make this from the biological waste material. Using biological waste material is also a way of recycling farm waste. Based on the kind of biological material used, manure can be classified as compost and vermicompost, and the other one green manure. So what is compost and vermicompost? The process in which farm waste material like livestock excreta, cow dung, etc., domestic waste, sewage waste, straw eradicated weeds, etc., are decomposed in pit is known as composting. That is plant and animal waste which are decomposed in a pit. That what we say composting. The compost is rich in organic matter and nutrients. Compost is also prepared by using earthworms to hasten the process of decomposition of plant and animal refuse. This is called vermicompost. That means when we composting is decomposition of the plant and animal waste in a pit, and when we add earthworms to this, that what we say vermicompost. The other one, green manure. Prior to the sowing of the crop seeds, some plants like sun hemp or guar are grown and then mulched by plowing them into the soil. These green plants thus turn into green manure, which helps in enriching the soil in nitrogen and phosphorus. So before showing of the seeds, some plants like sun hemp or guar are grown and then it is being mulched and it is being mixed with the soil so that the soil becomes enriched with nitrogen and phosphorus. Now, fertilizers. Fertilizers are commercially produced plant nutrients. These are commercially produced. Fertilizers supply nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. They are used to ensure good vegetative growth. Vegetative, that means leaves, branches and flowers, these grow in a better way and giving rise to healthy plants. Fertilizers are a factor in higher yields of high cost farming. So a farmer cannot afford to buy fertilizers. They depend on manure. But those farmers can use fertilizers, certainly can get a better yield. Fertilizers should be applied carefully in terms of proper dose, time and observing pre and post application precautions for their complete utilization. For example, sometimes fertilizers get washed away due to excessive irrigation and are not fully absorbed by the plants. This excess fertilizer then leads to water pollution. That means, so when fertilizer is used, we should not irrigate the land for a period of time. Otherwise, it will be washed away and it will reach to the water bodies, which may cause water pollution. Continuous, also we know that is continuous use of fertilizers in an area can destroy soil fertility because organic matter in the soil is not replenished and microorganisms in the soil are harmed by the fertilizers used. Short-term benefits of using fertilizers and long-term benefits of using manure for maintaining soil fertility have to be considered while aiming for optimum yields in crop production. Actually, we have to use both of this. For short-term benefit, we can use fertilizer, but for long-term benefit, we need to use manure because manure which improves the quality of the soil, whereas the fertilizers also required for the growth of the plants. So, if it is a combination of these two, certainly helps in getting more amount of production. Nowadays, another practices adopted that is called organic farming. Organic farming is a farming system with minimal or no use of chemicals as fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, etc. and with a maximum input of organic manures. Organic manures like recycled farm waste, straw and livestock excreta, use of bioagents such as culture of blue-green algae in preparation of biofertilizers. Neem leaves or turmeric, especially in grain storage as biopesticides. So, no use of chemicals, rather these which are organic substances which are obtained from the plants, this can be used with healthy cropping system. So, cropping patterns are also there. So, like mixed cropping, intercropping and crop rotation. So, this can be, these are adopted and these cropping systems are beneficial in insect, pest and weed control besides providing nutrients. So, organic farming, that is no use or very less use of chemicals in the farming, that is called organic farming. So, today we have started crop production management. First we discussed about nutrient management. Thank you, students.